At 6:45 p.m. on April 15, 2007, volunteer radio operator Ivan Orms received a routine call from the 9.8-meter catamaran, CAS-2. The crew reported their position at George Point, off the coast of northeastern Australia, and confirmed all was well. It was the last communication ever received from the vessel. 3 days later, a helicopter crew spotted the CAS-2 drifting silently 88 nautical miles off the coast, its headsail shredded and flapping in the wind. But when maritime authorities boarded the yacht on April 20th, they found no crew. They found the engine idling, a laptop powered on, and GPS data that would later reveal a terrifying timeline. This is what really happened. The voyage was meant to be the start of a new life for 56-year-old Dave Batten, a relatively new skipper. Batten had recently purchased the CAS-2 and planned to sail it from Airlie Beach, around the northern coast of Australia, to his home in Perth. He'd taken sailing courses and, for this first leg of the journey, brought along 2 experienced friends for safety, brothers Peter, 69, and James Tunstead, 63. On April 18th, when the CAS-2 was first spotted adrift by a coastwatch patrol near the Great Barrier Reef, authorities were notified. But it took another 2 days to intercept the vessel. When they did, Queensland Emergency Management's John Hall reported the scene was strange in that everything was normal. Everything was in its place. Life jackets stowed, wallets and phones, untouched except for one critical detail that defied all maritime protocol. The boat was in perfect working order, yet completely empty. After towing the vessel to Townsville, forensic police, led by Sergeant Paul Malloy, combed every inch of the catamaran. They found no signs of a struggle, no evidence of third-party involvement. Sergeant Malloy stated definitively to the inquest, "We came to the conclusion the boat itself was not a crime scene." The boat's GPS system, however, told a different story. The data showed that on the morning of April 15th, the CAS-2 sailed directly into an area of building squalls and rough seas. By late that afternoon, the GPS track showed the vessel was simply adrift. The key piece of evidence came from a video camera recovered on board. The last footage, time-stamped at 10:05 a.m. on April 15th, shows Dave Batten at the helm in choppy seas, while Peter Tunstead fishes off the back. Crucially, none of the men were wearing life jackets. But the most chilling discovery was personal. A fishing lure, identical to one Peter was using, was found snagged around the boat's portside rudder. This changed everything. At the official inquest in August 2008, State Coroner Michael Barnes presented a devastating scenario built on the technical evidence. He concluded that within an hour of that final video, a sequence of cascading failures led to the men's deaths. The coroner's theory, now the most widely accepted explanation, begins with the snagged fishing lure. Peter Tunstead, attempting to free it from the rudder, likely lost his balance in the choppy sea and fell overboard. His brother, James, seeing him in the water, would have instinctively gone in to help. That single, seemingly minor event created a man-overboard emergency. Dave Batten, alone at the helm, would have rushed to drop the sails to execute a rescue turn. But in the chaos and with a building wind, the boat's boom, the heavy spar at the base of the mainsail could have swung violently across the deck, striking Batten and knocking him unconscious into the ocean. Wait, what? In a matter of seconds, all 3 men were in the water, without life jackets, watching their boat, pushed by the wind and current, drift away from them, just beyond their reach. The official search was called off on April 21st, with survival expert Dr. Paul Luckin concluding that the chance of survival after 4 days in the Coral Sea was virtually zero. Coroner Michael Barnes ruled their deaths a tragic accident, a case of misadventure. From that point, the end would have been swift, he stated. None of them was a good swimmer. The seas were choppy. The men would quickly have become exhausted and sunk beneath the waves. The devastating human cost was the loss of 3 devoted family men on the trip of a lifetime. Yet, a haunting maritime mystery remains that investigators still can't fully explain. The families point to the unbelievable tidiness of the cabin. If the weather was severe enough to wash 3 men from the deck, why was a laptop and a coffee cup still sitting on the table? Furthermore, the boat's fenders were found deployed, a protocol used only when docking alongside a pier or another vessel. Something Dave Batten's niece pointed out was highly unusual for the open ocean. The coroner's findings provide a logical, yet unprovable, sequence of events. But for maritime experts, the contradictions, the tidy cabin, the deployed fenders lead, the door open to doubt, was a freak wave or waterspout responsible, an event that could sweep the deck clean without disturbing the cabin. Or did the deployed fenders signify an encounter with another vessel, as some family members believed? The case of the CAS-2 serves as a stark reminder of how quickly a calm sea can turn unforgiving. A modern parallel to the legendary ghost ship, the Mary Celeste. Our next investigation will journey to the Strait of Malacca, where in 1947, the crew of the SS Orang Medan sent a final, terrifying Morse code message. All officers ... are dead. I die, before falling silent forever. To ensure you don't miss this dive into another of the ocean's darkest secrets, subscribe and activate all notifications.